Welcome to Horses and People magazine. I'm Christina Wilkins, and today I'm recording the first of a series of interviews with equestrian professionals who, just like you and I, are navigating the many challenges presented by this COVID-19 pandemic. So today I'm speaking with Lisa Ashton. Lisa Ashton and I have worked together for a very long time. We met many years ago at the International Society for Equitation Science, and we clicked straight away and have been very good friends since. So Lisa is an equitation science coach and a mindset coach, and she has been helping a lot of people with their horses, with their training, but also with their mental health. Welcome, Lisa.
That's such a lovely introduction, and isn't it nice that I can enjoy your first interview? I feel privileged, so thank you, Christina, and our friendship means a lot to me. Yeah, it's good to be here and to be invited to do this interview.
Fantastic. So before we go any further, I have to also say that we are recording this Friday, 27th of March. It's the evening here in Australia, morning in the UK, where Lisa is based. And because this situation changes day to day, if you are watching this recording at another time, things might be quite different from now. In terms of Australia, in terms of the outbreak and the spread, it's still behind Europe. I know that Italy and certainly the United States is leading the way, then Italy and Spain are not far behind. And the UK has implemented stronger lockdown measures now. You can tell us a little bit more about that, Lisa?
Yeah, so the country's been moving very quickly every day, and we had this amazing emotional connection last night. I don't know if you've heard about it. So Thursday, the 26th of March at 8 o'clock UK time, everybody came out their windows, out of their doors, and we just clapped. And why are we clapping? Well, we're all now in self-isolation, and we have been led for the last probably, I'm going to say 8 days. So last Friday, our schools closed, restaurants closed, they were closed by the government. We've had a weekend of people having to adjust. I don't know if you saw, some people were better at adapting and responding than others as they sort of headed off to second homes in rural areas. So we had a really tough weekend last weekend after schools closing. And then on Monday, our Prime Minister showed leadership and did what was needed, which was to put us into emergency movement. So unless it's an emergency, none of us are moving. And we are able to exercise once a day, and that is it. And yeah, so a lot of the landscape's totally shifted. And that has been really on my mind about how we are all adapting and responding. And that word resilience, like that's what I'm looking at. And I'm looking at sort of leadership. I'm looking at who has the courage to lead and what's been happening. So it's been interesting. Last night was actually all about connection. So in terms of coronavirus, infections are increasing daily, deaths are increasing daily. We are coming into, the word everyone here is using is a tsunami. Wow. Have you had that language yet in Australia or not?
They're talking exponential growth and flattening the curve still here. And the situation here is quite confusing with some things shut down, but not others, and very ambiguous sort of signaling so far. So I know that equestrian coaches have been told to stop lessons, clinics are cancelled, events are cancelled. But for example, horse racing is still taking place without the public and with some restrictions, but they're still racing. But other sports have closed. So, but people are still working more or less normally. There are certain venues like restaurants and bars and events that have cancelled and have stopped trading. But other things are still going on, and there's still a lot of people on the street. So definitely not on an enforced lockdown here.
Okay, so it sounds quite ambiguous. We've moved on from that place. So I think the key here is that everyone is trying to do the right thing at the right time. So we are taking our leadership seriously now, but I think we've moved on because we weren't taking it seriously. I think we were quite misbehaved. People having barbecues, and and you can really start to see across a society how different ages are reacting. So that's that's obvious, and it's quite a concern, because what happened last night at 8 o'clock was everybody got together, and although it's so isolating, like that's the point. We need to stay at home to save lives, and that we are taking seriously. And that's the majority, at least, and the people that I know in my sort of echo chamber, that's what we're doing, and that's what's happening. And so last night the NHS were really appreciated. We did what we could. We turned it into a win. I know the NHS staff are now in that escalation. So beds are filling up. It is happening. The tsunami hasn't hit, but they are definitely in preparation. The army are doing all our logistics. They're getting ready for dead bodies. They're getting ready for the absolute suffering and tragedy of CV-19. And I think that's my landscape. That's what's happening in the UK. So it's been really important that I'm able to do what I can.
Tell us a little bit more about how your business is structured before this pandemic.
So what a lot of us are doing right now in the UK is asking how we are. And I find that really interesting, because it feels like when I'm being asked, it feels different. And the difference I've realised is that people are actually waiting for your answer, and they're actually, like, it feels like people are actually giving about my answer. And I haven't had that in a long time, where I actually feel like when I'm being asked, how am I, that somebody is actually caring about my response. Mm-hmm. So that's new and that's different. And the only way, I just keep repeating it, and I say, I'm dualistic. I'm feeling dual in my feelings. I'm feeling the tragedy. I'm feeling the turmoil. I'm feeling the change. I'm feeling sadness for those that have already lost their lives, both in Italy. I've got very good clients and friends in Italy and in Spain, as your family are from. I'm seeing that unfold on the news. And then I've got the reality of what's happening here. And then it's paralleled with the wins, like the wins that are coming out of coronavirus, or the behavioural changes that we are having to do in order to save lives. Mm-hmm. And those wins for me about nature, they're about time with my son. I'm homeschooling. So that's not what I normally do in my business. That's the first time. That's been going on. In fact, he had his last day at school last Friday, so nearly a week. This is my last full day of my first week. So, this whole dualistic, when I say I feel dualistic, that is met with nods. And we sort of have this, it's okay, I think, I'm going to say this, to all of you, it's okay that you are aware of the sadness and I guess it's the overwhelm. I think most of us are feeling overwhelmed by the speed of the change that's coming and has happened, followed then by actually the wins. Like, there's been some great wins, and that's about micro level, like me and my family, and how we're spending time together, and how I'm being able to literally do more to help more people, to help more horses, which brings me back to your question, which is, what do I do?
Yeah, so before that, you've been able to pivot quite rapidly on this, because you already had an online model. So tell us a little bit more what you've been doing for the last few years.
Yeah. Okay. So today is the anniversary of me launching Espresso with. Yeah. I mean, I just love timings, and I love. Yeah, so today I've launched something else, which is why you're interviewing me, and the pivot that I've managed to do literally since Monday. So this is now Friday, and but 2 years ago today, I launched Espresso with EquiCoach. Now, this is my mastermind membership, and it's all online. I have features every day. I call it a vault of knowledge, a vault of content that is constantly growing. And what happens every week is a live at 5 o'clock. And what I love about being live with my members is we are a community. Like, we care for each other, we're there for each other, and lots of questions get asked that I might not even thought of the question, but I always go and like explore the answers. Sometimes I bring in experts to do the answer for me because I have no idea. But it's become a really important space, a safe, brave space for horse lovers to apply evidence-based knowledge. That's how it differentiates. Sorry, go on.
What sort of members do you have in that group?
I thought it would probably be like horse lovers, but you know what? I'm just blown away. I have vets, equestrian vets. I have Pilates coaches. I have equestrian coaches that are just not outside of Pilates. I have horse lovers. I have physios. You know, I have journalists. I have scientists. I just think we're all just connected, and what keeps us connected is putting horses at the center of our choices. What that is our thread, what that is our line that runs through all of us. And perhaps it's also curiosity. Perhaps we are just really curious scientists and really curious vets and really curious journalists. But that is the through line.
Yeah, that's great. And so it's Facebook based. So you have a private group on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, I started this off not knowing, like 2 years ago, I didn't know how things would evolve. One of the feedback I got was prior to launching Espresso, I actually had my own EquiCoach coaching space, and I was told it was one more thing to log into, and I was very conscious of that, and I thought, do you know what? We're in a social media landscape. We are constantly embracing it. The people that are placing their horses at the center of their decisions are those using Facebook. Mm-hmm. And if you look at the geographics of, you know, like, it's not the teenagers aren't, you know, they're on TikTok or Insta, or, you know, there's some other social media platform. And I just thought, actually, right now, I want this to be easy for people. I want them to find Espresso just part of their daily life. So I went on to I went on to Facebook, and that's where I've created the community. And to be honest, Facebook has upped their game. They have really given us facilities and provision to run an educational community. So yeah, it's a membership. So there's no contract. Think of it like a gym, so you can roll on and roll off to suit you. One of the reasons why that works for me is I just want to be able to be there when you need me. So, you know, it's about me adapting and responding. And I've got this vault of knowledge that's basically every day there's content being posted. So if you come out for a month or 2 months, you know, there's loads more content when you come back in. The thing for me is that most of my members come for the content, and they're looking at my coaching. You get it raw. You get this is through video analysis of me coaching others. You get webinars. You get various different features, including a welfare feature that we do every Wednesday. So I wanted that to be really tangible. And I think what surprised me is that people stay. Like, I saw it launched 2 years ago, but I've got I'm going to call you my founder men, my originals. They are my originals, and they've been since day one. And they tell me it's because because of our community. That's why they stay, which is really like, great. I wasn't expecting that. It's lovely.
Yeah. In regards to technology, you use Zoom a lot to have your discussions. You can have the good thing about Zoom, because you can do Facebook Live. But with Facebook Live, you can't have people participate, can you? Like you can on Zoom.
It's been just a brilliant journey for the last 2 years. This is my landscape. This is what I've been doing. I've been in Zoom. I have a meeting room, which means that I paid for that meeting room. Whereas, if you're just new to Zoom, it's free. You can, your meeting room sort of number changes all the time if it's free, but that's okay. You can speak to family. I've been seeing my members are having like Friday night parties with their family through Zoom. Yeah. People are getting so creative because of this chapter. And yes, there is more lost to come. We've got the tsunami coming, but these are the little wins. Like, people are embracing technology, and Zoom for me has delivered. I really like the reliability of it. So in terms of it's not dropping in and out. And I really like the fact that the recording is just so easy to remember. I mean, you have to remember to press record, everyone. But other than that, Zoom, I think, is just a perfect accessory to this current climate.
Tell me, how are you pivoting with this lockdown, and how are you changing? What have you had to change, and what do you want to change? What projects do you have coming up?
Yeah, great question. Thanks, Christina. Listen, one of the things that was really on my mind was how I can show up for my community. And I'm a British Horse Society accredited professional coach, which means I get access to our community online. And really, for the last 10 days, the responses in there have been I've been concerned. I've been concerned for the mental well-being of equestrian coaches, and that's because I'm seeing the responses to all the different phasing. Now, I think we've acknowledged that you're perhaps in Australia a little bit behind the UK in terms of action that's taking place. But one of the things that my mindset coaching and my mindset programs has really been able to sort of hone in on, and for me to sort of develop my skills is to support anxiety. And one of the things about anxiety is actually the antidote is action. So I've really taken a good look at who I am, what I'm currently doing and what I have been doing, and actually who I want to become. And part of that is about understanding how I can help more horses. So my calling is to help more horses by helping people to give their horses a life that actually is not just one where they are surviving but thriving. Now, I've been doing that in espresso for some years. So looking around at this current climate and seeing equestrian coaches actually not surviving. I mean, that's one of the things that has been really paramount. I'm not just talking financially. I mean, this is happening to everyone globally, that there are now financial challenges for all of us because we've stopped, like the whole country's come to, the world has come to a standstill to starve the virus. So, we're all in this together. And I think you'll probably get bored of hearing me say it, because until we stop thinking about ourselves and thinking it's about me, and oh, look, it's happening to me, which is what I was seeing in the last 7-10 days, which it's not about me, it's about us. And we have to stay at home, we have to take those actions to save lives. So to see the sort of aftermath of the actions that are taking place in the UK in an equestrian coach's sort of platform prompted my action. And, I wouldn't have gone down this road if I hadn't seen how distressed coaches are. So what I basically created, so Krista, you've known me for a while, I do have quite a creative imagination. It is who I am.
That's right.
Yeah, and that's who I am, and I love who I am, because it gives me the opportunity to pivot. I looked at the distress in this group and I just thought, do you know what, this is my time to step up and help. I've got skills here that I can really now bring to distressed coaches. And people are overwhelmed, they have no idea what's coming, that uncertainty, they don't even know if they're going to have clients, or they don't even know how they're going to put food on their tables. So this has been something that I've processed, and I basically have launched today. So thank you for interviewing me on a day that means a lot to me, which is, look, here I am. This is what I've got to offer. I hope this is something that you see of value, because I'm doing this for you. Like, this is about me showing up every day throughout April. Okay, so what I'm doing is I have called it the Equestrian Coach Challenge. And my challenge to all equestrian coaches globally, so you don't have to be in the UK or Australia, but absolutely both are more than welcome. You can be anywhere else in the world, and I'm inviting you to join me every single day of the week, so not weekends, for 1 hour with a group of 9 others. So each group will have 10 equestrian coaches in it. And what I've looked at is the current landscape of CV19 and what I think is what's coming from my, let's call it, experience of the last 2 years of being digital. You know, like, I'm digitalized, and that's what's going to happen until we come out and we starve this virus. But also, once we come out of the digital time, what habits will your clients have created, your horse lovers have created, that means that you're going to be coming at this quite differently. So what I've done is I've taken something that's really important to me as a horse lover, as a coach, which is the whole frame of reference of a social license. Uh-huh. For me, it's about community. A social license is about all the different stakeholders of a community agreeing, giving affirmation, validation that the practices of either a sport or a industry or a coach are in line with our community. Because, you know, at this time, I look at the community that I'm in, and last night when we were clapping the NHS, I am proud to be part of the UK's community to fight CV19. So I thought, how can I create this community for equestrian coaches during CV19, but will last beyond? So I looked at the social license to operate qualities. So what are the qualities of a SLO, social license to operate? And in week 1 of April, so we're going to start Monday the 6th of April, every single day we are focusing on legitimacy. So legitimacy. So I think this is quite unusual for coaches to see content like this. I don't think it's normal. So that's a real fit for me. You know that I'm a massive round peg in a square hole.
So what will coaches expect? So you are doing this through a Zoom meeting or through Facebook?
Yeah. So Zoom is my thing. It's my go-to. It's my office. You can see that I have a studio. I have a meeting room. It's the same meeting room. So it's the same meeting room. As soon as you've basically enrolled, you get my meeting room for Zoom. It's totally free, as you know, the application. And at the set time of your group, we all get together for 1 hour. Now, I have shared I have a program, and at the end of that hour, there is an outcome. And it really is about upskilling coaches to manage right now and in the future. Now, all that first week is focused on legitimacy. I've got lots of different areas about that. One of them, I hope you'll come and join me as an expert in helping horse lovers navigate advocating for horses, on and offline. So would you be willing to come and join us?
That would be fantastic. Yes. So it's going to sort of be a mix of, because we're not necessarily upskilling them in coaching, in technique, and but it's you're looking more at the underlying
what we bring. What do coaches bring to horses? What do we bring to horses? What do we bring to community? That social license of, just because we're showing up and just because we can do what we're doing, does it mean it's right? So I think one of the things for me, for you, for all your coaches listening to this interview and watching is, I think right now the spotlight is on doing the right thing at the right time. I think that's going to last with us. I think that's going to be the legacy of coronavirus. I think what's going to happen is we're going to start to shift how we look at everything. How we show up as an equestrian coach when we have a really difficult conversation that needs to happen, perhaps between the horse lover and the horse. Between you and the horse lover, because of the horse. You know, I'm going to support all the coaches to do that. To how we become, you know, advocates of horses, and we need to demonstrate our legitimacy as coaches. I think there are a lot of people that think it's a profession that they can just do what they've always did to get what they've always got. Perhaps you could before CV-19.
So this is the ultimate, really, for coaches, that they can't go out, so they need to look inside. It's coming back inside to come out of this lockdown with a widened perspective of social license to operate in the horse world. So you'll be talking them through all the different topics that are being discussed, so that when they come out of this period, they lose that defensiveness. They know the language, they can speak the language, and they can take it out into the world. Yeah,
I mean, there's one more thing that each of those 1 hour sessions is going to do. I'm actually going to give coaches resources, so you know, they're actually going to come away with action to do. So what it won't be is a bunch of us coaches chatting away like, oh, this is what I do, and it won't be that. What it is about me giving coaches tools to act on, and each of those tools are framed around the social license. So after legitimacy, we're going into transparency. That's the week I think we'll do a lot of our own reflection, but I'm doing this to help more horses. This is about how we are the agent to giving horses a life worth, way more important, this concept of a good life. And you know, we want that quality of life for horses. That, to be honest, that's what the public are demanding. You know, they want to see how do we show up for horses, and that landscape has shifted. I want to share that with my coaches. You know, everyone else, is how our job is to help horses, and we do it through helping people to help the horse. So, you know, at the end of each of those 1 hours, we're going to have actionable, you know, for me, it's all about action. What can we do to move forwards? The week of communication, you're going to be really delving into social media, and that's not going anywhere. I mentioned it yesterday in my community coffee with horse lovers. Please, all of you listening, come and join us. And I mentioned yesterday in a live stream that, you know, there's nothing, social media's never been bad. Let's just clear that up. Social media is about what we're talking about, which is, you know, staying connected. What social media is, in my opinion, is a metaphor for microphone. So whatever is in you is going to come out, but just amplified. And that's what social license to operate is realizing that, you know, you can be here now, or you can be in your arena coaching, and because of social media, that lesson is now going to go to the other side of the world and be seen by the next generation of horse lovers.
Brilliant. So every week you're going to be talking through one of the elements that is majorly influential in social license to operate, and giving the coaches resources to navigate that landscape, the new landscape of social license, which is, it's really unique. I don't think anybody else has tried to do that. It's really fantastic, because we need, it's now a topic of conversation. It's now very much, everybody is really aware of social license to operate. We're hearing it coming out of leaders all around in every sector of the horse industry, and it's a skill nobody's actually teaching. Nobody's really talking the language. So good on you for doing that. That's really great. So where do people find out more?
I will post a link to my website, and in my website there is where you can basically join a group. Now, I'm asking for a small contribution so that actually I can also support my family. It's £50, and over the course of 20 1-hour sessions throughout April, it comes out as £2.50 per hour of our groups. So I really hope you, for me, it's about giving you value whilst also being able to support my family at this challenging time. So I know I've got the coach's support on this, but if you are struggling, and I know there are many of you just worried about where is your next meal coming from because of this climate, email me, lisa@equicoach.life, and we will sort something out. But that small contribution is really about us sort of, what I'll do once you've joined is I will put you into the group that really fits you, and I could do with you guiding me on that. So there's 4 groups. There's the ESI group, that stands for Equitation Science International. I'm a graduate. I'm very proud of my training and my qualification, and my peers, my co-colleagues. We are a really great, we're a really caring team of coaches, and when we go to ISIS conferences, we all get together. We're led by Dr. Andrew McLean, who doesn't really need any more mention in the sense that what he has done for horses, like over the last 2 decades, I just know hasn't really been recognised, like it hasn't. And I think, you know, for me to be able to show up and help equestrian coaches around the world is only because of Dr. Andrew McLean and how much he has given to me and all the ESI graduates to help us help more horses. So that's group 1 is ESI coaches. So please, if you're a graduate and or a student, you fit that group. The next group is a BHS coach. So again, you've got your recognised qualification. I am interested in knowing that you are qualified as a coach. And then the third group is the Equestrian Australia. One of the reasons being is there are many ESI coaches that are both, they're dual, like I am. I'm BHS and I'm ESI trained. And then the 4th group, which I hope your listeners will really value, is I've called you miscellaneous. I think there's many of you that might just be curious. Do you know what? I love curiosity. I want to cultivate more curiosity. I know this is different. It's very me. It's absolutely really what I can do right now. You know, me helping you is helping me. So I've put together the 4th group. You can be a lecturer, a horse lover, you can be a journalist, you can be a scientist, whatever it is that you contribute to helping horses, you are now my miscellaneous. So, yeah.
And it's true that we all need to learn the language of social license to operate. We all need to learn to navigate it, and learn to contribute, learn how we can all contribute, because everybody that is in contact with the horse world has a role to play in that, in maintaining our social license to operate.
It's a bit like coronavirus, isn't it? Like we all are. Staying at home is our role. This is our role. Like we are, and I think this is your point about social license is, first of all, let's just be aware of, through language, what that means. But more than that, throughout April, I'm actually going to be showing coaches the walk in the talk. Yeah. Like, I think we need to, I'm a visual person. I need to know what it looks like. What does SLO for coach actually look like? So that's what I think, I'm hoping the groups will really, I mean, listen, I come up with this crazy shit. Like, it's crazy, I come up with it, and then something else comes out of it. So this is the idea. In reality, who knows what's going to happen? We might have, I think my vision of what I think it's going to look like is my Australian coaches. I'll have my alarm set for like 2 a.m. I'll be clambering into Zoom. I'll be like, hi. And they'll be like, yeah, we just finished a day of socially isolating or whatever. We're halfway through our day. And I'm okay with it. Like, this is all new territory for me, but I do love change. I love new, and I'm up for it. So if you are, then let's do it together, because we're in it together.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time, Lisa. And we'll be putting all the information together with this post so that people know where to click and where to find and sign up. Awesome.
Brilliant. I mean, it's early days, it's brand new. I'd love your feedback, any ideas or suggestions. Thank you, Christina, for offering to join us on Wednesday, the 8th of April. That's the day that Christina's going to share your expertise, because, what you do for me is you show me how to be courageous. You show me how to advocate for horses, and that you can't get any more legitimate. Being able to put horses at the center of all our decisions isn't easy. It takes work and it takes courage, and you do this, you show up every single time, every single magazine you do it in, every single time we communicate you do it. So I really value what you give to us to help horses, and I hope us as coaches we can do that justice.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I'd love to be involved, and I really, I get so much value from all the work that you do. I love Espresso, love the community, and having a really supportive network. It makes social media really worthwhile, to have those close groups where you can have discussions with like-minded people, and it's always in a supportive environment. It's not there's never a negative experience. So it's really, really great. Yeah. So thank you very, very much for your time. And we'll see you on the 6th of April starting. And of course, you're in Coffee with Horse Lovers, which is a free group that people can join. And then they can look into Espresso with EquiCoach. Very good. Yeah, thanks, lovely. Lisa. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Stay safe and stay at home, everyone.
Stay
at home.
Safe and stay home. That's the message. Thank you. Thanks for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We'll be posting regularly.